The possibility of a Ponzi scheme that is called the spot ETF is becoming apparent due to the moving of the money from one spot ETF to another, back to the other. When is the music going to stop? Who is going to pull the rug on this Ponzi scheme? Or does the spot ETF actually have real people behind it and not just companies passing the money backwards and forwards, inflating the price? Is the price of oil trying to give us a tip or an insight into possible inflation? Or once again, I really do think so. It just keeps on moving up. The tensions between other continents and other beliefs seems to be fueling this increase in oil prices. We all know the huge impacts that oil price increase have on the economies and the people when it happens. So here is one of the first indicators that we are going to have higher prices over the coming year already. So if you have been panicking about the price of Bitcoin going down, don't worry about it. The UK 100 is going down too. And to follow suit, the S&P 500 is also going down. So we can see this isn't just a Bitcoin problem. You can see here that it is pretty much nearly everything that has gone down a little bit. What's the reasons for this? Well, there could be lots of different things, but we're not really here in this video to talk about them. But as you can see, there are other things going down too. If you are new to Bitcoin, if you have some savings and you want to put it somewhere safe to be able to hedge against inflation, or maybe just want to invest some money in something that is not euro or not dollar or not yen or something like that, and you've looked at Bitcoin and you're asking yourself, is now the right time to invest in Bitcoin? The short answer is no. If you want more information about when or why you shouldn't invest in Bitcoin, then this is going to be a good video for you. In my Bitcoin price analysis videos, we talk about what the price has done yesterday and what the possible prices have done today. And towards the end of the video, I talk about what my overall expectation is for the market and when I would expect to put money in and when I would expect to take some money out. So if you are new, just sit back, listen into this one video, put your feet up and just take some notes. But before we start moving on, I just want to advise you that I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional trader. All of the content and all of the information that I am talking about here is relative to my own portfolio. The money from my wife and myself that we've put into cryptocurrencies and in other stocks and shares for our future. We are talking about in 10, 20 years. So any trades that we make are not like quick. They are not day trading. They are not scalping. It's literally a long-term investment. So we always look at buying as low as possible and then selling high as possible in the one future. So it's a long-term thing. And like I said, if you want to listen to my opinion about my investments, you are more than happy to listen in. Now, before we move on, I just want to inform you that I do this for free, and it would really give me that great dopamine feel if you just gave this video a like. That is all I'm asking for you. And if you also want to subscribe to the channel to be able to get notified when I do make any new videos, please feel free to smash that subscribe button too. Please remember, this is my channel and I make lots of videos about lots of things. Sometimes about programming, sometimes about Borussia Dortmund, sometimes about drone flying, sometimes about random stuff in Germany. That's what my channel is all about. Please don't unsubscribe or dislike my videos when I make another video on my channel, because this is my channel and you are more than welcome to view my contents. With that all out the way, let's start moving into looking at the charts. Hello and welcome to this Bitcoin price analysis video. My name is David Thorne. It is the 3rd of April. It's 10 to 10 in the morning, Central European time. And without any further ado, let's get started by looking at the price of Bitcoin. Okay, now the price of Bitcoin, as you can see on a weekly level, had a little bit of a dip so far. We seem to have gone a little bit further than the week last week, but this is normal. This is normal. We've had a long uptrend here. We're going up along, and it's possibly the first time that we might close below the 5 EMA here. So there's just a short correction. That's all it is. So don't go and panic. Don't go and panic. This is a normal thing. This is a normal thing that's got to happen. All right. So let's dive even deeper into the daily charts. Now, as we can see here, the daily charts, we haven't managed to break this other high since the 14th of March. We came up for a few days and we tried breaking 66.5, 66.3, but it just didn't work. And when this resistance zone actually becomes a resistance zone, at one point the selling starts because people think, okay, maybe this is the current top and we'll start taking some profits. But is that the case? Are people taking profits, or are they just moving it from one ETF to the other ETF? As per my Ponzi thing I said in the beginning, there's been outflows from ARK and also from GBTC moving over to IBIT. So is this the reason why there is just basically some sideward movement? Because there's a huge amount of selling in one spot ETF and then buying up in the other spot ETF. That's just speculation, but we do know that the money went from one ETF to another ETF. Okay, so we would assume that this could be either a distribution period or area, or it could be accumulation. Now, what do I mean? If it's accumulation, this would be buying and looking to sell higher. If this is a distribution area, then we are looking at selling, or the people are looking at selling and then buying back at a cheaper price. So taking profits, buying back at a cheaper price. Economics 101, buy low, sell high. Okay, but we're just here to talk about the Bitcoin price. But that is the type of fundamental, and this is the key word, fundamental knowledge, or that you need to do. The technical analysis, the price is a second thing. The first thing that needs to be going through your mind are the fundamentals. Buy low, sell high. All right, and if something, just to spot if something's overbought, oversold, and to try and spot these support zones where people are probably going to put their stop losses, probably going to be buying some of their Bitcoin. And where are the institutions buying? This is the fundamental stuff that you need to understand. So now we've looked at the daily chart, we can see that yesterday we had this big sell-off, and it looks like we're trying to at least make up some of those losses yesterday, but only time will tell on this. This could be the smallest correction, and then tomorrow we see another downside all the way to the 50 EMA. This personally is on my books for the week. I would say come the end of this week, we would have touched this 50 EMA. And whether it happens towards Sunday or whether it happens today or tomorrow, I would expect today probably would be an indecisive candle. So we're probably going to see the price stay within inside of this 60. Let's say the 60, low 60 to like say 62 range here, or it could just sit and close on like 68.75 or something like that. But this is just my initial idea, but it could make higher prices, but I would expect it just to sit in the middle by the end of the day, and then maybe tomorrow even a massive sell-off, or it could just go sideways again and then another sell-off. So either the price goes to the 50 or the 50 comes to the price, okay? But if the 50 has got to come to the price, that means that we need slow movement on here, and then this moves up. Otherwise, we need fast movement down to the 50. Okay, let's delve even deeper into the 4 hour here now. So yesterday's video, or yesterday's sell-off video, we drew these support zones, and I've just made them look a little bit nicer for today's video, and we can see that the price came all the way down into this support zone, and then I'm not going to say it got rejected, but it showed some buying here. So the 200 EMA showed a little bit of resistance, or support, should we say. It showed resistance to the selling, and it supported the buyers here to buy back again. But we can see here from 6 o'clock this morning, this candle's going to close in 5 minutes. We can see this indecisiveness here. So is this a sign for new prices going down, or is this a sign for another surge up? Only time will tell with this, or if we look at lower time scales, will paint a better picture to us. So with that said, we can't really say anything right now on the 4 hour time scale, because we need to look even deeper, because it could go in either direction, sideways, up or down. Moving into the hourly timeline, we can see that we've got this like sideways motion here. We've got indecision, then it went down, it went back up again, and now we've got this kind of like another indecisive spinning top type candle that is maybe trying to tell us something. And obviously it's only got 3 minutes and 16 seconds left. But we can see that this is some form of resistance right now. The price has not been really able to push through to make higher highs. So we should assume to go with the market. The market is the master and we are the slave. We should assume that At the moment, it's finding it very difficult, so the likelihood is a rejection to come back down into this one support zone. Now, if it does in the next hour want to continue going sideways, then we should assume that it's going to try and hit the top once again. And if it does have the sentiment, if it does have the momentum to go even higher, then it will. Otherwise, I'm guessing it will just get rejected, and that could be the sell-off. This one could just be the testing, and the next one could be all the people shorting it for lower prices. But we can see that possibly if we move down to the 30-minute time frame. So the 30-minute time frame, putting that aside, we see that the price has come up from the lows here up to the 50 to test it. It hasn't had the strength, the momentum to move really outside of it. Yes, the 50 went sideways here, which is why it's more that the 50 went under the price rather than the price went over the 50. We can see it made this little bit of a higher here, but it had selling pressure in the end, and it just started continuing with another sell-off as well. So is this sideways motion ready to come down? Is this sideways motion ready to go up? We need to see it come back and either test the 15 here, or it needs to close beneath the 50, and then we want to see the 5, the 8 close beneath the 15, and to see then lower prices. And I would then assume that it's going to come and test some of these lows, and we can see that, yeah, it's going to come and test one of these lows again. That if I would have to gamble on this, which I'm not going to gamble, I would assume that it's going to come down here. The chances are better it's going to go down than it's going to go up. So the 15-minute time scale, as we're speaking, it's kind of starting to paint a bigger picture as well. We can see that it's slowing down on the 5 and the 8. They seem to be wanting to cross, and it looks like it's wanting to close lower than the 15 as well. Got 45 seconds left on this one candle, and I would expect, whilst we're talking, that in the next 5 minutes we're probably going to see the price come and test the 50 as well. If not, it could surge lower, but there looks like there's a little bit of support at 61,250. So I'd expect to see some price. The price should bounce here or wick here. Now, if it doesn't, I would assume that it's going to come through quite quickly, because I don't think there's much resistance or support around this area. This 61.2 to 6800. I'd say that it comes quite easily down to this area. And as we can see here, there is a lot of buying pressure down here. So I would assume if it did get down, there's probably not many buys here. There's probably more buys down here. For that reason, I would expect it to go lower. Let's move on to the 5-minute time scale and see whether we can catch this move. Okay, so we saw there was buying power at the close of that 15-minute candle, but the 5, the 8 and the 15 have gone below the 300 now, 300 EMA. And are we going to see the price movements? Is there going to be any buying power? If there is no buying volume, right, which at the moment we see there's a lack of volume by this kind of hollow light red candle, we should see quick price movement going down, because there's no one buying, right? If there's no one buying, the price has got to keep going down to ask, hey, are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? And when someone does actually say I will buy, that's where the price will move to. So right now, I only see it coming down to test this 200 EMA right now. That's it. But like I said, we should expect it to come down to this 61,250 zone, I would assume. Even if it wants to go any higher, it's got to come down and test it. And if it doesn't have the strength, then we would expect it to come to this white area down here. Okay, and I'm pretty confident about that. I'm pretty confident. If I was gonna gamble on it, which I'm not going to, I would guess that it's going to come in this area here to a minimum of 67.77. Right. Let's look at the 1-minute chart, and I mean this literally is just painting you the biggest picture. It's like graffiti on the wall saying this is going to happen now. It's literally telling the future. We've got the green, we've got the 5, the 8, the 15, all beneath the 50. And they're all closing now, and now we're starting to see this candle, right? There's no buying power, and when there was a little bit of buying power, but the candle went from light red here to a maroon, that shows that it's got a little bit more buying power or volume than what it had before. But I still believe, you know, the price is coming down here. It's 61,284. This without a doubt, all right? And it will more than likely just bounce a little bit and then come booting down to this one area. And I have 100% confidence in that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if it doesn't happen right now, it'd probably come up here, then come down again. But if you wanted to like swing trade or scalp trade or whatever, I'll be looking at doing a buy down here. I mean, probably down here, and then it might more than likely come back over the course of the day here to sell it short term profits. But if you were looking at getting into Bitcoin long term, you know, this could be a cheap area. It's Bitcoin at a discount. So, but that's down to you. If you buying on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, then you could class this as a nice area to buy Bitcoin. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You got it at nearly a 10% discount. We actually have it at a 10% discount. So even over the course of a year, maybe you're still going to get at least a 10% return on your money, which is better than inflation. So long story short is that if you want to hedge against inflation right now, there is a huge likelihood that Bitcoin by the end of the year will have gone back to 67,000, which would have given you a 10% hedge against inflation, which meant you actually ended up having more money at the end of the year than what you lost due to inflation. With that said, if you are interested, if you are interested in looking at this indicator that I use, this is the DJ Thorne Trading Indicator, which is me, David Thorne. This is my indicator that I've used, and it's basically just a script here, a PineScript script. I will put on the screen right now where you can access this one script, and all you got to do is literally go into the raw version of it, copy and paste it, and then place it in this code here afterwards. So if you want to use it, it is for free, and it means that you can put multiple indicators on the chart without having to pay for a TradingView subscription. As you can see, I've got one indicator on here, and I've got lots of EMAs. I've got I've got the Bollinger Bands as well, and I've got markers and all sorts of stuff on it. So you don't have to worry about buying a subscription, but you just have to put up with the adverts on here. That's nothing to do with me though. Right. With that said, I hope that you've got something out of this one video. I maybe will do another video today. We'll have to see how the price of Bitcoin moves and whether anything interesting happens. I mean, interesting if it's like a big move, we'll analyze that later. But if we just go sideways for the whole day, I won't make another video. So I am a big fan of philosophy as well. You know, it's the origin of mathematics comes from philosophy. And let's just take this away. When we talk about any economics, we're talking about buying low and selling high, right? But I'm also like to be a contrarian. And so this is my philosophy, and this is other people's philosophy. I didn't make this stuff up myself. And being a contrarian means that you've got to be able to be a contrarian at the right spot. And now when it comes to trading, it's always better to follow the master. Now the market is the master, and here we can see in the middle, the market is telling us we are going up. All right, so this is not the time to be a contrarian in the middle. The time to be a contrarian is when you use the fundamentals, right? You realize, wait a minute, the sentiment, because Bitcoin is all about sentiment and momentum. There's nothing really behind it. Apart from the blockchain and stuff, the ledger, that is all there. I agree with that. But we don't have widespread usage right now. So the price is driven by sentiment and momentum. And you can see down here that there was huge momentum to the downside, right? Previously in 22. And by the end of it, you saw this sideways motion, right? That the price had cooled off. The sentiment was people weren't buying it much anymore, but they weren't selling it much anymore. And it was super cheap. So this is the time to be a contrarian and think, wait a minute, I can get the price of Bitcoin, say 4 times cheaper. And if you buy in there and you're an early investor there, right? And then when the market moves, you then need to, you shouldn't then be a contrarian anymore. You should be someone that moves with the market. And right now up here, well, the market is our master, and the market is still wanting to go further. If you listen to the news, you listen to the vlogs, you listen to the people, listen to the investors, they all want higher prices. They all want to move higher. And that is the herd. That is the market. But it's now time to be a little bit cautious. Okay? It's now time to not to be a contrarian. It's just time to be cautious and think about how far does it need to go down for the market to change its direction. All right? And this is what this green line is about. And I believe that this is like the bus ticket type place. This is the area where you should start thinking, okay, do I change do I change the direction now of my journey? You know, this is nothing more than just a quick breather. But if it comes below this price, then we should expect to see it come down to 39. And if it come down to 39, then we should expect it to come to 35.5. And if it can come to 35.5, we should expect it to come to 32. And 32, we should expect it to come to 25. 25, we should expect it to come to 23, and so on. So you've got to have these boundaries where you say, okay, this is the point where I'm deciding I'm going to go in the opposite direction now, right? But right now we are still with the herd, but we are being cautious. We are saying, okay, at what point are we going to start changing our idea to be a full-on contrarian? All right, and this is my philosophy. And granted, this is my first time. This is my first time implementing this philosophy. Okay, but I've done a lot of research and I've done a lot of my own due diligence, and this is my main philosophy. So anytime you think about why am I making a trade right now, there is always a I'm never doing anything short term is what I'm trying to say. There's always a long-term goal up here in the future. And if I have to take a loss in the beginning, I will. But if I see that there is going to be a long-term gain, I will take that gamble. I will take that risk. Okay, but I'm not going to let my emotions take control of me. All right, this line here is saying to me, hey, there is a 90% likelihood the price of Bitcoin is going to come back here inside of this bull cycle as a correction, and I believe that price is going to come back even further. But this is the price where, for me, this is like confirmation that my philosophy about Bitcoin and the sentiment and the momentum is correct. Okay, with that said, thank you very much for listening for this video. It might be a little bit longer than normal, but I think we got some important content here because it's really important for you, if you're new into Bitcoin, to get this correct philosophy now and don't use your emotions and understand how other people are thinking about the price of Bitcoin. So if you want to, the one thing that I do look at, I look at all these all the time, but right now I'm using gold as a good indicator for me. Look, this is the momentum. This is how the world is going right now. The price of gold is just surging. So there must be some other reason for this, and this is why you've got to be going with the herd right now. The prices of gold is going up all the time, so people are really hedging against something, okay? With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I will possibly see you in another video today. Otherwise, I will definitely see you in a video tomorrow. The video was a little bit later today because I was trying to kind of see whether or not we got any movement, whether we got any movement this morning around like the 8-9 o'clock time. I just didn't want to make a video when it was going sideways. I wanted to wait to see whether we were going to have any price action up here. But it seemed to be that it wasn't. So I decided let's just go ahead with the video now that the European market is open and the London market is open. Okay, video is now finished. I will see you either this afternoon or tomorrow in my other video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.